All right. So excited you guys are here. Let me share screen real quick. All right. Can you guys all see that? That
Yep.
perfect. Sorry. All right. So welcome. We're glad that you guys are here, and I'm sure you're here to learn about some natural solutions. Somebody invited you. If you have some sound in the background, go ahead and feel free to mute yourself. Um, This is also interactive. If you guys are like, "Oh my gosh, I've been taking this product and I absolutely love it," feel free to share. Trying over here to like minimize the sound in the background. I'm just gonna go ahead and mute.
I'm sorry, I'm on a meeting.
I don't know where the sound's coming from, but if you can mute your audio, that'd be great. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys. Okay. I think I got whoever it was. It's hard to be a host at the same time of like doing this. Okay. So this is going to take about 25 minutes. We want to respect your time, but we want it to be jam-packed with testimonials, education, and at the very end, we're going to be giving away a free lemon essential oil and a Copaiba roller, which is amazing for pain, anxiety. It's amazing. I absolutely love Copaiba. I use it almost every single day. Um, but anyway, feel free to utilize the chat. If you tap on your phone once, you should see it at the bottom, the chat button. So if you want to chime in and you don't really want to talk, totally get it. Feel free to pop anything, any thoughts in the chat. And I'm just going to throw this screen up here. You might be here because you see one thing here, or maybe a few things on your screen where you're like, that's me. That's why I'm on the call. And so if that's you, you're in the right place. Um, so we are really going to focus about how we get to the root of some of these issues. And oftentimes, foundational wellness, when you take care of the foundation, everything else typically aligns in your body. But we do have targeted solutions here at doTERRA. So I'm going to toss the call over to Dr. Amy.
Hello. Hi, I'm Dr. Amy Keller. I'm coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. And I want to talk to you a little bit about a couple different approaches to healthcare. And these are things that I see in my practice every single day. I think what most of you are probably used to is the modern approach. And so this is an issue where you come in, you have a symptom, and your doctor gives you a medication to treat that symptom, and hopefully that symptom feels better. And oftentimes that means continuous medication. It means that you keep taking that literally forever. And I see that with patients over and over and over. Sometimes those medications cause problems like side effects. And then you maybe go to a different doctor because you have a GI issue or you have swelling in your feet. And so they give you a different medication and you continue to take that. And then that maybe causes something else. So this is one that's really looking more at the disease. So it's not necessarily a holistic approach. It's actually kind of compartmentalizing your health and treating the issue that you're having instead of treating you and trying to keep you from having those issues. And so what I love is I love the natural approach, okay? So when we look at the natural approach, this is one that's more patient-centered. So this is literally looking at you and what's going on with you and saying, "Hey, how can we keep this person in the healthiest spot? And how can we get rid of those root causes of those issues so that we can get them into a place where they don't have to deal with those symptoms anymore?" And so this is really the one where we're preventing disease as opposed or treating the root cause so we can get rid of issues as opposed to treating the symptoms and the disease. We're actually looking at the person. And I really love that where we're looking at, we're just making a true long-term difference for patients. So let's go in here and we're going to talk about the three main things that actually cause disease in the body. And so the first thing I want to talk about is nutrient deficiency. Okay. And so 96% of us just are not getting the nutrients that we need. We're not getting what we need from our food. You guys, our food supply has changed so much over the years that we just aren't eating the same thing as our grandparents ate. And so no matter what you're doing, even if you're trying to eat organic, trying to make the best choices for your family, things are creeping in that are causing issues with us. Now, the other thing that we have to work against is inflammation. So, inflammation is actually can be a good thing in our body. So, if we get hurt, inflammation comes in, it's our body's signal that, hey, we not need to heal. But the problem is our food supply and things that we encounter in our daily lives, they're causing inflammation within our body. And you can see on the right side of the screen all of the different symptoms that can come from that. We might have things like low energy, maybe we have digestive issues, maybe you've got things like depression or anxiety. All of these things can stem from inflammation in our body. Also, if we have things like chronic gut issues, it can cause inflammation as well. And all of these things cause disease. Now, the other thing that we are literally from day one exposed to is toxins. And so toxic overload is a big thing that we need to talk about. Our bodies literally needs to detox all of the things like the chemicals that are in our food, in our products, in the air that we're breathing. All those things, when they build up, they cause us to feel worn down. They cause us to just feel tired and like we can't function as well as we'd like to. And our detox organs, you guys, are on overload. So we really need to attend to that so that we can be feeling our very best. The issues start way deeper than just surface level. We really need to go down to the cellular level to make a difference.
For sure. So why doTERRA? There's so many options out there to treat your health nowadays that it can be kind of confusing, right? So doTERRA is actually the leader in essential oils, but did you know that they have supplements also called Foundational Wellness? And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. What makes doTERRA different? They actually work. Many supplements aren't actually regulated, but doTERRAs are clinically backed, developed by real doctors, and third-party tested for purity and potency. When you get an essential oil, it is actually tested 54 times from dirt to doorstep. So you know that they're really taking care to make sure that everything is pure. doTERRA has 100% pure ingredients, so no junk or fillers, no contaminants or shortcuts. The science at doTERRA is top notch. They have an in-house team of scientists and doctors. They also partner with independent labs and they're third-party tested. So we've all been to Utah and we get to see the science labs, and they actually test the water and the air quality of the building to make sure that everything is pure and stored properly, which I love. And then a big one is co-impact sourcing. This one is huge. doTERRA is a humanitarian company focused on global impact through their Healing Hands Foundation. What I love also is where they source the plants for the supplements and the oils. Um, not many things are grown in the United States. They're all grown globally where they natively thrive. And that makes a huge difference also because they're growing in their natural native environment. So I love that for sure. Okay, so this is doTERRA's wellness pyramid. Probably looks a little different from the food pyramid that you grew up studying in school. At the foundation, these basics lay the groundwork for everything else, like reducing toxins, managing stress, and supporting your body with the right tools. And when we actually focus on these habits, we see things like inflammation, fatigue, and gut issues start to improve, often without meds. Our bodies are really smart, and they can do a lot of healing on their own. They just need the right support. If you look at the image, you can see nutrition and digestion are the foundation. So, like when you're building a house, you need a strong foundation. So, we really focus on nutrition, digestion, and elimination first to make sure that your body's prepared to do healing on the other end. As we're focusing on foundational wellness, we're filling our nutrient gaps and supporting brain and heart health and reducing inflammation, and then balancing gut bacteria and supporting healthy digestion. So unfortunately, most supplements on the market are only 20 to 30% bioavailable, which means you're literally paying out 70 to 80% of them. So when you've ever had that bright yellow pee after you take a vitamin, you're literally flushing most of it down the toilet, which is pretty crazy. So there's two terms you need to know: bioavailability, which just means how much of the supplement is actually available for the body to utilize. And then bioretention is how much of the supplement actually stays in your body to be utilized throughout the day. So how much can your body absorb, and then how much of it actually stays within your body?
Thanks, April. So, what is VMG? VMG is a daily nutritional drink with over 90 whole food based ingredients, including fruits, vegetables, probiotics, and digestive enzymes designed to fill the gaps in our diet. It stands, like I said, it stands for vitamins, minerals, greens, plus doTERRA essential oils, which is key. So each sachet contains 3 to 4 servings of nutrient-dense greens, and the essential oil part helps with the bioavailability April was talking about. doTERRA studied even showed that 91% of VMG stayed in the system for 8 hours, keeping those nutrients available for your body whenever it needs it. And that's amazing what she was saying, bioretention. So if you're struggling with energy slumps, bloating, or even brain fog, VMG can help. It supports energy, digestion, mental clarity. It's gluten-free and it's free, vegan friendly. And might I add, it tastes amazing. I know it looks green, and you're probably thinking it
Mhm.
tastes like broccoli ash. No, it tastes amazing. It tastes like pineapple mango. My kids drink it, no problem. Actually, they beg for it. So we don't have any taste problems here. Also, VMG is 540% more bioavailable than regular supplements on the market. Thanks to its essential oils and the liposomal technology, when it comes to tackling inflammation, VMG showed up some impressive results. This truly spoke to my heart because I think my inflammation biomarkers, my C reactive protein, they showed that on average in the clinical trials that it lowered by 43.5%. That's huge. That's almost by half, you guys. So, which means it can help ease chronic pain, boost your energy, and just make you feel better overall. The best part is I feel younger. So, in just 6 weeks, VMG helped reduce biological age by 2 years. It's not just about looking youthful, it's about the way that we feel too, right? So, you have better self health or cell health and vitality.
Can I
Me
share
personally,
when you're
oh,
done? Can I share a little bit? Sorry, I thought you were done.
absolutely. I was going to say, I'll share my story if you
So this one, I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy, but it's been life-changing for me. So I have thyroid autoimmune, super tired in the afternoons. I used to take a nap every day from like 2 to 4, and just couldn't stop myself from taking a nap. And now I don't even think about taking a nap. So I feel like it's really just filled up my vitamin bucket to where I'm giving my body what it needs. And so I'm just not drained throughout the day, also helping my body feel better because it's reducing inflammation. So this one has been huge for me. And I was not consistent with my supplements before, even the ones that the natural path was giving me, because I wasn't seeing a huge difference, but also I was taking a bunch of pills. So with this, it's like a green drink that I look forward to every day and makes me feel really good. Sorry for interrupting you, Ashley.
Oh, you're great. I love testimonials, so thank you. Me personally, I have thyroid, but the opposite of April. I have hyperthyroid. All my blood work went from in the red to in the green after being on foundational health at doTERRA. So I could go into more detail, but it's made a huge difference for my energy and my pain. This is another testimonial. This is Sarah. I've known Sarah for a long time. She was using medical grade supplements from her doctor. It was getting really expensive for her, so and she wasn't really noticing a difference. So she decided to switch over to doTERRA, Foundational Wellness, and at her 6-month checkup, all of her blood work came back way better, and she feels better. She looks a million times better. She also takes her collagen, which we'll be introducing in the last slides. Um, and then this is Sherry. I've also known her for a really long time too. She was a migraine sufferer for 2 decades. She was on prescription meds, taking shots to keep them at bay. She went on foundational wellness and all of her migraines significantly reduced. And over the last year and a half, has been able to get off of all of her prescription medications. And she's only had 6 migraines total over the last year and a half. All right, I'm going to toss it back over to Dr. Amy.
All right, you guys. So this is one of my favorite topics because omega-3s are so important to our general health and so important to our eye health, which is my area of expertise. And so let's talk about omegas. I want to talk to you first about omega-6s. All right. There's two different kinds we're going to cover today. Omega-6s are the bad guys. All right. So this is the one that our bodies that can actually make, and we do use this for some things. Like if we get an injury, for example, that inflammation, our body will actually create omega-6s to try to come in and fix that injury. So, I mean, there's some good parts with it. The problem is that we also get omega-6s from all of the processed foods that we eat. So any additives that are in our foods, any of our extra oils like vegetable oils, things like corn oil, soybean oil, these are all inflammatory omega-6s. And so we're getting an overload of these. And what's happening is our bodies are inflamed. And this is like across the board. Now, then we go over to the good guys, okay? These are the ones I love, all right? So the omega-3s are totally my thing, all right? Omega-3s are the ones that aid in tissue repair. So these are the ones that help our bodies to heal. They help us to fight against inflammation and illness. They help us to balance out all of those omega-6s. And so these are the ones that are really critical. Now, if you remember, I said that our body can actually make omega-6s, but it cannot make omega-3s. And so we either have to get those from our food supply or we need to get them from a supplementation. And so it's challenging because we can eat salmon and we can eat avocados and things like that, but we also have all of these omega-6s coming from our food supply as well. And so most of us, instead of like, we need to really be at a 1-to-1 ratio on these guys so that our omega-3s can balance out those omega-6s. Because we are hanging out at 16-to-1. And so our country is in inflammatory mode. Now, what that means in our lives is that we just don't function the way that we need to. And so, what I'd like to talk to you about is the importance of omega-3s. So let's talk about some things that omega-3s do for us. First of all, they help with inflammation. So when we have the right omega-3s, it literally attacks the inflammation in our body. So it decreases that. It decreases things like joint pain and just in general pain throughout our bodies. And it will also lower the risk of our chronic disease. Now, heart health is huge for me because with eyes, our eyes are kind of the window to the rest of our body. And so when your body is not healthy, I actually see that in your eyes. So I love that it helps with heart health. It can do things like lower your blood pressure. It can cut down on the risk of your heart disease. It actually makes your blood vessels more flexible. And what that means is less retinopathy and bleeding in your eyes. And it means that your eyes in general are going to be more healthy, as well as your whole body. So that is huge. Now, let's talk about our brains because I feel like a lot of us are dealing with a lot of things. And so you may know somebody that's dealing with things like anxiety or just cloudy thinking, poor memory, those kinds of things. Well, omega-3s are literally brain food. And so they help to feed our brains. They are so amazing for things like helping improve our memory, helping improve focus. They're great when we're dealing with things like Alzheimer's. They help to prevent that from happening. But they're also great for things like depression and anxiety because it helps our brain to function at its best. And what's really important is for children, omega-3s are very important for eye and brain development. So even when they're in the womb during pregnancy, super important. And then they help with our metabolism. And so the metabolism, who doesn't want a great metabolism, right? We want healthy weight. We want our energy to be up. We want to get our belly fat down. We're all looking for a great metabolism. And so omegas come in and they help in all these different areas. And there are even studies that show when we have that right omega balance, then we can actually live longer and we can avoid chronic disease. And that is so cool. So enter E Omega Plus, and I love this omega-3. As an optometrist, I have been recommending omega-3 supplements for years, and I have never seen the results that I feel like I see with E Omega Plus. People constantly say, "Hey, I don't want to take these because I've never had good luck with them before," or "Hey, I get fish burps all the time." You know what? doTERRA's thought of everything. So with this omega-3 supplement, they use amazing high quality fish that is sustainable, and I love that. But what they've added in here is they've added in wild orange essential oil. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that and why that makes this so amazing. So the wild orange essential oil not only preserves the fish. If any of you guys have ever had fish burps from omega-3s, you'll know what I'm talking about if you've had it. The challenge with those is that you've probably pulled off omega-3s from the shelf and they're already rancid when you've taken them home. So by adding wild orange essential oil, we are able to keep the fish oil fresh. And so fish burps aren't a thing. Literally, you guys, you can bite into these capsules and they taste like wild orange, not fish. I swear. Ashley will tell you, her family does that. And I've done it. I prefer to just swallow them because it's just easy for me, but you can bite into them and they taste like wild orange. Now, the other thing about wild orange is it has limonene in it. Limonene is a component that is cardioprotective. So it is great for our hearts, all right? It helps to support our heart, it helps to support our blood vessels, and it's really great for helping out in these ways that you can see on the screen here. So, number one thing that they noticed with E Omega Plus, decreased resting heart rate. You guys, this is huge. For me, I'm somebody who has tachycardia. What that means is my heart goes really, really fast. I have noticed a huge improvement with that, and I feel like a lot of people just feel like their stress level goes down when that heart rate comes down. They just feel like they're better able to manage their day, and that is super cool. Now, the other thing is, I don't know if you guys know anybody that's dealing with high blood pressure, but I'm going to tell you what, it is so many people. I see this all day long, every day. And with E Omega Plus, with supplementing with this, you can get a 14% decrease in your diastolic blood pressure. A lot of times people are struggling with that for years, trying to get that in the right place. And this helps naturally to bring it down for you. I feel like that's pretty amazing when we can take something that's so good for our heart and our metabolism and our brains and everything. And also, it gives us these amazing results. And what I see, I love it for dry eyes. That's what we use omegas for. And it has made a huge difference. I feel like people actually notice a difference, they don't mind taking it. And I've had patients who've had really great success with decreasing the retinopathy in the back of their eyes as well. So those are clinical results that I see, but I love that they actually have the studies at doTERRA to show us how amazing this truly is.
Thanks, Dr. Amy. Oh, you know what? You're on the next slide. I
I
forgot.
am. I was like, okay, you're welcome. Hey, let's also talk about the healthy gut biome. So this is the thing. If your gut is not healthy, you guys, your body will not be healthy. Our microbiome throughout our entire body is dependent on our guts being healthy. And I see all the time where people are struggling with oodles of things, and no one has ever talked to them about gut health. And gut health is so important because signs of an unhealthy gut, you guys take a look at your screen. It's everything from gas and bloating, constipation, to things like sleep issues, fatigue, issues with weight, skin conditions. You guys, I see this hugely. People with eczema around their eyes, people with skin irritations, anxiety, depression, almost always a gut issue, you guys. And so we have an amazing product to help with that. As you can see on the screen, we've got PB Restore. PB Restore is our unique formulation. It's got 30 pre, pro, and postbiotics in it. It also has bacteriophages. So not only does it give us all the good stuff that we need, but it gets rid of the stuff that should not be there. And if you can see on your screen, this is a dual encapsulated capsule. What I love about that is that not like if you get a normal probiotic, you just go off and grab it off the shelf, that thing is going to dissolve completely in your stomach, which means it never gets down to your intestines. It never gets to your gut, which means it's really only maybe doing a little bit. With this one, the first part of the capsule actually dissolves in your stomach, but the second part gets down to your gut, which means you get the right stuff at the right place throughout your entire digestive tract. That is so critical because then we're really getting what we need and resetting that microbiome so that we can actually work the way that we need to. And I will tell you, because of all the things that we have, like nutrient deficiencies, all of the toxins that we get through our food supply, every single person can benefit from a daily PB Restore to get that balance back in check.
Thank you.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I know there's some questions in the chat and April's trying to answer some of those, but we're screenshotting any ones that we don't know the answer to and we can get back to you on that. Natalie, I see yours and Amy, if you know the answer to that question, feel
Okay,
free.
y'all check it out.
Okay, so for the first time that someone orders foundational wellness at doTERRA, you will receive a free glass shaker bottle to mix up your VMG and a free 5 ml peppermint essential oil, which is amazing for things like upset tummies, nausea, headaches, and just overall boosting your energy and alertness. So I love that they do that for us. Above and beyond that, if you opt into our incredibly generous, flexible rewards program, you'll also receive a free essential oil every month that you choose in on the foundational wellness. Now, this includes VMG and E omegas, or VMG, E omegas, and PB Restore. Either bundle, you automatically get the free oil of the month. Plus, on top of that, you also start earning points. So you can take these points and you can cash them for things on your wish list, which I love. And it starts at 10% back. And every 3 months, as long as you're doing at least 50 PV, you keep jumping up in percentage. By the end of the year, you're at 30% back. And let me tell you this, it adds up and it's like a snowball. This month, the essential oil of the month is Serenity, and it's our sleep system oil, and it's phenomenal. Like, I get sleepy when I diffuse it by my bedside, but we also have soft gels, which are amazing, and they help your body produce its own melatonin. So if you're struggling with sleep, definitely ask your advocate. Okay. Um, so this is basically if you order foundational wellness and nothing else, which we're still gonna just hit on the collagen because it's so worth it. If nothing else, we have a special code this month, and you would also get a bonus Balance essential oil on top of the free gifts, the shipping, free shipping, and the free essential oil of the month if you choose the rewards. But we would be remiss if we did not share our amazing collagen. So I'm gonna hand this over to, I think it was April, right?
It's me. So before doTERRA, I had tried a couple of different collagens. It's kind of like a buzzword because people are looking for like hair, skin, and nail help. You know what I mean? I was looking for joint ache help. My body used to ache from head to toe. So the collagen is different from regular collagens because most collagens have like 2 different types. doTERRA has 9 types. And then it's 12 times more bioavailable and absorbable. It's freeze-dried powder you activate with your water and definitely helps with joint health. You guys can see on the image right there, A1C, high blood pressure, cholesterol. Really just takes care of your metabolic health. A big deal though, if anyone's struggling with cholesterol or you're just wanting to prevent it on the front end, um, our bodies make something called NAD plus. It's a really long word that they shortened for us, thankfully. That kind of peaks out at the age 25. So I don't know if anyone here is older than 25, but that's when you start to see wrinkles, brown spots, aging, and gray hair. So the other thing though is your body starts to feel it too. So doTERRA added something called NMN. That's also another big long word, and that actually helps our body naturally boost its own NAD plus. So it's giving us NMN to then help our bodies create what it needs. That NMN also helps with cholesterol. So one of our doctors on staff suggests 100 milligrams of NMN per day to reduce cholesterol by 10%. Each sachet, though, of our collagen has 250 milligrams of NMN in it. So such a huge blessing. So if you have cholesterol issues, this is one to add to your wish list for sure. But check out these before and after pictures. You may recognize Dr. Amy on there. And the guy in the top left-hand corner, that's Mr. Rob, Ashley's husband. And you want to tell that one, Ashley?
Yeah, so here's before and after. This was like 60 days after, but you guys, he had a full head of like gray hair in the back. And I just want to take you to the next slide for just a second. What? Like, are you freaking kidding me? Dude has no gray hair in the back of his head, hardly any, and very just little hanging out on the sides anymore. So, yeah, needless to say, my husband is a huge fan. He also notices that his hair is coming in a little bit thicker than it used to. Um, yeah.
I love that too, because I think it's like super fun to see the dramatic change. Bottom left is Dr. Amy. We can see the huge difference in her. Amy, do you want to share?
Yeah, so I'll just say that I feel like a completely different person than I did before doTERRA. I mean I would be asleep right now. I literally used to be asleep at 7 o'clock on the couch, and barely made it. I could do okay through my workday, but then I was shot. That was it. I had nothing left to go, and so I will say that this has made a huge difference for me, and I noticed that just less like puffiness, I guess, in my face. A lot of people are like, you're just glowing. Patients who see me like once a year, they'll comment, wow, you just look great. You look so good. Oh, you look so, happy. I'm like, oh, thanks. But I have lost weight. I will say that's not been my goal. My goal was to feel amazing, and I hadn't been feeling amazing. So that was really why I started doTERRA. But I did add in the collagen, and I think it's done a great job for me. I think less pain. I do feel the energy. I will say my cholesterol over the last 6 months has gone down 28 points. And that's no medication or anything like that. I told her I wanted to try to do it naturally. And it's been great. And so I do believe that all that's done. And I love that there's a side effect of weight loss. That's been really cool.
I know, I love that. So you can't see my before and after picture, but my joints used to hurt, and I had a hard time exercising, had a hard time sleeping. But it really helps with connective tissue, and I think that's why it's been helping my joint pain. Top right is Linda. She went to the dermatologist for this spot on her sunspot, and all they said that was normal. And she's tried different kinds of collagens. They often upset her stomach and had no noticeable effects. And now her sunspot is gone and her energy levels have improved. And her brain fog has cleared also, which I think a lot of us have a little bit of brain fog. On the bottom right, you can see the lady had red spots on her arms, and anytime she bumped herself, they would appear, and doctors biopsy them and just say that's what happens when you get older. After using MetaPower for just 3 months, the spots are totally gone, and she's seen other changes like weight loss, actually 60 pounds, which is crazy, thicker hair, nails growing, and lower A1C. So all about healing from the inside out. So a lot of people look to collagen for hair, skin, and nails. Those are the benefits, but feeling better, I feel like, is a much bigger benefit that I'm thankful for.
And I'll add in my testimonial. I used to have like massive, like dull hip pain that would just like ache and ache all day. So by the end of the day, I would ask my husband to rub my right hip all the time, right? After about like I'd say about 8 weeks of being consistent on doTERRA foundational wellness and collagen, um, my hip pain was no longer there. Like I never asked Rob to rub my hips anymore. And it wasn't until he actually said, "Hey, you haven't asked me to rub your hip," that it dawned on me because it was so gradual. So that's the power of consistency. You might actually be feeling it, but you don't know you're feeling it until I was a dum dum and I went on like basically a detox and I ripped myself off the collagen. Why I did that, I don't know. All that pain came raging back. And guess what? It went away when I got back on that collagen, and it took a little while to get kicked back in my system, so that's how I know it was the collagen. So, um, if you want to add on the collagen to foundational wellness, you will get a free diffuser just like, for 150 PV, that's when it just unlocks, so it doesn't matter what it is, but just so you know, that's over 150 PV, so you automatically get that, along with all the other gifts that we just mentioned on the previous couple of slides. Plus, in addition to that, if you happen to tack on 25 PV, meaning points value more, which is equivalent to like $25 in essential oils, just for clarity, you also would get a free adaptive roller, which is amazing for stress and anxiety. And man, I know we've gone over our time limit, but man, we have stories. Amy could tell you a story if you want to stick around, which I thought was phenomenal. So we encourage you to just ask your advocate. And here are some like little things that we like to add on as just like little, pinpointed things. If you're dealing with digestive issues, you might want to consider adding on Terrazyme. You get it below wholesale when you can customize your foundational wellness kit, basically. So that's an easy one. It's a digestive enzyme. It helps you break down your food that maybe you have a hard time, with. Maybe it's like gluten, soy, or dairy. And then it helps you absorb the rest. If you have acid reflux, that's a great one to add on. If you're not pooping at least one time per day, bare minimum. at least one. We like to say 1 or 2 times per day. You might want to add on Revitazen. It's a gentle liver, kidney, colon cleansing capsule. So it's very simple to add in. If you are struggling to be hydrated, like 75% of Americans are completely dehydrated. We walk around with all this mental brain fog and we're wondering why. It's probably because you're lacking in minerals and electrolytes. So that might be a great one, and that's an easy swap. Let's see here. Collagen, we already hit on that. That's an easy add-on. And if you are not sleeping, I did mention Serenity Soft Gels. They're one of my favorites. They're 10% off this month. So if you need like a little suggestion to get to that over the point so you can get all the goods this month, feel free to screenshot it. You are more than welcome to. And we will end on this. We have a health survey. I am going to put it in the chat. 1 second. I'm like buried here. Okay. Give me 1 sec. Okay. There we go. So if you can fill that out for us, we would highly encourage you to meet with your advocate that invited you to this call tonight. Because what we do is we like to personalize the cart. Every body is different. And so you might be struggling with something like acid reflux, and we would want to make a recommendation based off of that. Or maybe you have an autoimmune. We want to speak to that first. Okay. So go ahead and just take a moment, fill that out for us, and then we're going to do the giveaway. So hang tight. I'm going to go ahead and stop recording for a minute.